Okay, now we just continue the last part of the unit 1, actually unit 1.7, where we won't look at and evaluate the impacts of the ICT in the society. Here we just look at some benefits and some issues of the ICT for the society. So initially we just look at what are the social benefits of the ICT. So there are a lot of social benefits of the ICT. One is very fast communication in the form of audio, video, and animation, the documents. As you know, we can communicate with the others. Maybe if you have some of the friends in the other countries, you can easily communicate with them in the form of audio or video, whatever the way, you can easily communicate, very fast communication. That is because of the ICT. And some of the communication forms are very low cost with compared to the other existing communication methods. That is because of the network connections actually. You can easily communicate with others without paying some. As an example, sometimes you can send the email. So where there's nothing, any cost, only the connection cost is there. And the resources can be accessed from anywhere at any time. That's another big advantage. You can access to any resources from anywhere at any time. That is another big advantage. Now, when your A-level results are released, let's say you are in another country, but you can see your results through online if you know the index number. And you can access to any other resources which are available on the net, or you can buy some resources through online. Maybe you want to buy something in another country. That can be done easily through online systems. And other social benefits are some tools used for the studies. Now, as we can see nowadays, all the schools are closed, but we are conducting all these education activities through online. That is because of the ICT. So therefore, there are a lot of tools and the services available for the studies or e-learning. Now that is because of ICT. And for the health, again, we have discussed last time several tools. And again, some of the technological advancements in ICT are helping for health sector. A lot of research works are going on with the ICT-based tools. So there are a lot of advantages or benefits ICT for the health sector. And e-government services, we discussed that e-government where they are trying to computerize all the government organization so that the citizens can get all the services through online, which will minimize the waiting time. So like that is also a big advantage once the e-government system is developed, but still we don't have it. And currently we have the cloud services. Now the cloud idea is that everything in the internet. So therefore, when your resources are in the internet, the advantage is you can access to it from anywhere at any time. If all of your resources are in your laptop, in that case, you need to take it everywhere that you are going. But if your data is in the cloud, doesn't matter where you are. You can access to it from anywhere at any time. That's the main concept of the cloud resources. That is, you're going to keep your data, other resources in the internet. Then the main advantage is when your data is in the internet, you can access to it from anywhere at any time. So, and the cloud, the main concept of the cloud is actually all the resources are in the internet. And again, where main concept of the cloud is to hire the resources. We don't need to buy the resources. That's another big advantage of the cloud actually. We are going to hire the resources, but we are not going to buy the resources, because when you're going to buy the resources, it is too expensive. All these cloud resources, if you're going to buy these resources, maybe server space, maybe server processing power. Like if you're going to buy the server, it is very expensive. But here we are not going to buy this, whatever the resources and services. Instead, we are going to hire the resources. That will be very cheap. Something similar to, now let's say if you want to go from here to Kandy, one option is you can buy a car. But we know cars are nowadays are very expensive. However, instead of that, you can hire the vehicle. But if you're going to hire the vehicle, it is very low cost. And very responsibility is very less actually. When you buy the car, if there's an accident, you are responsible for that. You have to repair it, and a lot of responsibilities are coming to you. But if you hire the vehicle, if there's an accident, that is no need to think about the repairing and others to you. No need to think about the maintenance cost. No need to think about the registration, whatever the other the permit is there. Similarly, the cloud is basically hiring the resources. This hiring the resources are very cheap than buying the resources. And again, nowadays, we are planning to convert this IoT-based systems where we have the smart city, smart house, where everything is going to be automated. So therefore, that is providing a lot of benefits for the citizens. And enhanced security systems. Now, there are a lot of advancement in the security system by using some encryption, decryption techniques. Later, we'll discuss about the cryptography. Under that, we'll discuss about different encryption, decryption techniques, which are very sophisticated algorithms, very difficult to break and get the confidential information. And again, when the things are done online, it is paperless. That means we don't need to print the papers. And we don't need to print the papers means, in a way, we don't need to, we can reduce the amount of resources. Like we know to prepare these papers, we need to have, we need to cut the trees actually. That can be minimized. And save the time because of automation. Now, some of the works are automated. Because of this automation, most of the time, the time can be saved. As you know, most of the government organizations, when you go for any work, you have to wait long time period because they are not automated. When you go to do some work, let's say you want to complete some work, when you go to the government organization, they just go, you need to go to here and there and spend a lot of time. But if these are automated, when you go to one location, you can do everything. Sometimes you don't need to go to that location actually. So that will save your time. By base, if it is using the based on ICT based automation systems are used. Like these are some of the benefits, social benefits of the ICT. At the same time, we have the economic benefits. And they are mainly the save time and the cost to accessing information. So if it is computerized systems, you can get all necessary information for your task to be completed very faster. That is a kind of economic benefits actually. And high-speed connections, where you can complete whatever the necessary tasks very quickly, where the traveling cost can be minimized. And the resources can be accessed from anywhere at any time. That is also very useful for the. And some of the cryptography with digital money. Now this digital money, main thing is a security aspect. So the security is handled by the cryptography. Later we'll discuss that. Cryptography is a kind of techniques we are using both encryption, decryption techniques to provide the more security for the digital money. And when the things are computerized, efficiency of the service is very higher. People can get the services very faster, very quickly, without waiting the queues in long time period. And since the resources are available online, you can access to the global market. You can compare your product with different people who are selling in the world. And some of the technologies can be used in production lines, especially some robotics arms can be used so that automations can be done. If you take some of the most of the other countries for this agriculture, a lot of robotic systems are being used so that accuracy and other lot of works can be done. Production speed will be very higher. And with the software, we can create a lot of job opportunities. So those are some of the benefits you will get because of the ICT. However, because the ICT, there are some social issues also. What are the issues? Addiction to games. Some instance, children's may addiction to the games. Not only children's actually, sometimes adults also. Now, because of that, time may be wasting. And again, thinking power may be reduced. And other activities may not be completed well because you are wasting your time with the games. That's another issue. Losing privacy. Some instance when your information are in online systems, if the hacker access, he can get all your confidential information from there. That may lose your privacy. And again, if you keep your data or information, whatever the other photos, images, whatever things in your mobile phone, if it is lost, then someone can get your information. That is losing your privacy. Because it is difficult to hide that once it is stolen by someone, then you are losing your privacy. And some of the health issues without using proper gesture when you're using the computer and other resources, that may have a lot of bad issues for the health. Improper posture is the one of the big issue. And minimize the reading time for the books. Now, because of this, actually, people are not used to read the books. Earlier, people used to read the books and keep the mind in one place, and concentration is very high. But nowadays, you can see it is very difficult to find out reading the books because everything you just check on the mobile phone. And the other one is the frauds. So those frauds can be occurred, especially when you're going to do the transaction through online. Because we don't know, you may pay some amount through credit cards, but we don't know they are actual real people. And the cyber attacks. So when that is occurred, sometimes your confidential information will be lost. And another one is plagiarism. Plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Plagiarism means, this is coming in a lot of places, we'll discuss that, plagiarism. Now the plagiarism means, if you take someone else's thing, and then you just say, this is my own thing. Maybe it is maybe document, maybe music, maybe video. For anything, this can happen. Because if someone publish a book, some instant another person can download it and change all the author's name, title, and everything, and put his name and publish, this is my book. So that kind of things can be occurred. Most of the time, these plagiarism issues are coming when you are in assignments, actually. In university, you know, students are given assignments where they need to do it themselves by taking time. Some instances, students find this answer through the internet and just copy and paste and submit the answers. That can be done by the students. That's a plagiarism, because you are taking someone else's answer and you are just saying, this is my own answer. But however, now we have tools developed. There are tools developed, which is where once you submit your answers, we can easily see whether you have copied, what percentage you have copied, everything is there actually. From that one, you can identify whether you have copied, what percentage you have copied, from where you have copied, all the things are available. So therefore, students find very difficult is actually when they are taking something from the internet, because that tools are available. That tools give you all the information where we can check the issues actually. I can show you some of them. So once the students submit some reports, actually we can view that. What percent? Now you can see here that indicate these different colors, whether someone has copied something. And again, you can see it says what percentage you have copied and from where you have copied. Like all the information are given. So then very easily we can detect whether you have copied something, what percentage you have copied, and what are the things you have copied in the report. Now here you can see these different colors are indicating. Here, these different colors are indicating that you have copied this from the internet, and this number indicate from where you have copied actually. So like we can easily find out whether you have copied something, and then that will be a problem. So like this, it indicates whether you have taken these things from somewhere else. So that kind of tools are available actually there, so that then the students find difficulties and the students has to do the resubmission. So that is what we call this plagiarism tools are available. With that, we can easily detect whether you have taken the answers from somewhere else. And the other problem is a social issue is that because of the automation, sometimes some people may lose their jobs because of the automation. That's another social issue. And the other one is a digital divide. Digital divide. As you know, in a country, there are some places where some people have all the resources, internet connection, computers, everything is there. But there are some places in the same country not having the computers, not having the internet connection, not having the communication links, like a lot of things are there. That's a digital divide, also kind of social issue of the ICT. Economic issue, mainly the digital divide. And the other one is automations may unemploy the people, because sometimes some organization, when it is automated, some human involvement is not needed. Then some people may be losing their jobs. That may be one of the economic issue of the ICT. Otherwise, most of the time you can find the benefits of the ICT in the economic. Environment issue, mainly the electronic waste. That is, when your laptops or computers, mobile phone, other resources, once they are coming to the time or it is unusable, you have to just add them to the environment. And some of them are very difficult to recycle actually. So that creates an electronic waste. That's a big issue, because some of the electronic devices are having some toxic or some of the chemicals which are very damageable for the human body. So that is another big problem. And sometimes because of these technological usages, there are air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution can be occurred because of the technology. Ethical issues and some issues of the personal information. Now, some instance, whenever you register for some organization, what happens, they collect your information. But some instance, this information can be used illegally without your permission. That may be a big problem. Or some instance, when you lose or when you lost your maybe mobile phone or other devices, that may contain some useful information, some images, some photos. So in that case, someone has stolen, then there is no way to control it. That's another big issue. And access rights to the online resources, like you need to access to the resource through the using username and password. Some instance, there can be hackers, they can get your username and password and access to your confidential information or resources. And loss of information and the ownerships. That is again the same thing. When you are losing your what are the devices may contain your personal information. And the copyrights, that is, we need to keep the ownership of the resources. Let's say someone has developed some video or someone has developed a book. We need to keep the ownership of that person, because another person can change it and upload it, saying that this is my own thing. So then intellectual property right is very important. That is why people need to get the patent. Once they have some innovations in your mind, if you have innovative ideas, you should not tell others actually. Because when you tell that to another person, let's say you have a kind of very good innovative idea, if you just discuss and tell someone else, that person has published that one, then you lost your ownership. Then it becomes that person idea. So that is why when you have some new innovative things, before you publish, you have to get the patent. Once you get the patent, you get the ownership. Then the others cannot say that this is my own thing. Other ethical issue is the piracy, software piracy. Not the privacy, it's a piracy. Again, the piracy means making some illegal copies of the software. It is not ethical actually. And use of unlicensed software and the plagiarism. Yeah, you can apply for that. Once you have some innovative ideas, you can apply for this patent, and then you can get that patent with the registration number. And the legal issues of the ICT. One is a security aspect. So that is again big problem, because some instance there can be attackers. They may access to your confidential information by taking your username and password. And some instance when you are losing, when you let's say you have lost your mobile phone. So what happened? Your confidential information are there. Then we have to make some legal actions for that. If someone has taken your photos and other things and published in somewhere, that will be a big problem. And the plagiarism issues. Whether you have taken someone else's thing and you just say, this is my own thing. If someone published a book, you just take that book and edit the names and other author's details and add your name and publish this as this is on your own book. And you have to think about methodology to keep the digital ownerships. So for that, we can take the patent as a solution for this. Now, to make it confidential or to protect your data, you can use the username and password. And we can use some of the encryption, decryption techniques in the cryptography. And we can apply the patent for intellectual property rights. When you have some innovative ideas, you can get the patent for that. These encryption, decryptions are very important, especially when you are transferring the data through a public network. Actually. So encryption means basically you are converting your data into another unreadable format and sent through online or public network. Even someone has taken, he may not be able to read and understand. That is what we call the encryption, decryption. So under networking, we'll discuss this encryption, decryption techniques in more detail. Then the other one is stealing or phishing attack. Phishing attack. Normally, this phishing attacks is used to get some confidential information like username and password. Other confidential information will be taken by phishing attacks. So what is a phishing attack? the phishing attacks is this. Some instance, you may get some email saying that you have won $1 million. So therefore, to transfer that into account, you need to provide some information and you have to pay this much of amount. Now, some people will think this is real, this actual. Some people will make the payment and some people give their confidential information. So these kind of things can be occurred. That's called the phishing attack. Then how to protect from the phishing attack? We should not open the email which are coming from the unknown people. Always use the username and password for confidential information. Use some encryption techniques and install the firewalls to minimize the phishing attacks. This is software piracy. Software piracy means you are making software copies illegally, or you are using some software without having the proper license. That is equal as software piracy. So they are very important to keep your software with the proper licensing. Otherwise, it is software piracy. Taking the software without having proper license. That is copyright or intellectual property rights law. It is very important to protect your confidential information or whatever the innovations that you have in your mind. Especially, you need to get the patent, especially if you have any innovative ideas. The plagiarism, I have explained you earlier also. Plagiarism is if you take someone else's thing and you just say, this is my own thing. That's plagiarism. You can get something like, as I mentioned to you earlier, especially universities, when the assignments are given, students may find the answer from the internet and then just put that one as your answer. That is illegal. And that can be detected also. Remember, you can get something from the internet, that is okay. But you have to give the proper credits for the authors. You have to mention, I have taken from this location. These are the authors. Especially that is very important when you are going to develop something by yourself. In that case, you want to refer some other materials. So remember, you can get something from the internet, some images or some other documents you can get from the internet for your solution. However, you have to clearly indicate, I have taken this one from this location, so these are the authors. In that case, there is no harm. That is what we call the referencing, or we call a citation. So remember, when you are preparing some document, you can get some you can get something else from the others, but remember, in that case, when you are getting something, the others, you need to use the proper citation. When you're preparing some document, you can use some other things actually. In that case, remember, we need to make sure to give the credits for the people who has developed initially. So especially when you're preparing some document, you can use other things actually, but you need to properly indicate at the referencing, I have taken this one from this location, or these are the authors. Like this, I will show you one of the research paper. Now, in there actually, you need to indicate like this. So you can indicate who are the authors here. And again, these are the referencing actually. So here you can see we need to indicate these are the authors. And this is the place where publish it. What's the date it is published? Like we have to give the ownership. And they don't indicate where are we using it. Now here that is called the citation. That is equal as citation here. You can see this number will indicate the citation. That indicates I have taken this one from this one, this location. That's number 15. The number 15 you can see here when you go to number 15, it indicates who are they. This one. Like you can get something from the internet. But remember, when you get something from the internet, you need to indicate you have taken these things from the somewhere else. Then that won't be a problem actually. In that case, you can take something else from the others. That is okay. But when you have taken something from the others, you need to indicate you have taken these from the others. Then it is not illegal actually. It is a legal thing. Therefore, you need to have the proper citation. You have to indicate from where you have taken. Then there is no issue with the plagiarism. And licensed and unlicensed software. So always you have to use the licensed software if they are proprietary. But we have the free and open source software. In that case, there's no harm by creating the copies, by modifying the source code. You can do anything if it is a POS, that is free and open source software. There you can do anything. There is no issue with the piracy. But some softwares are proprietary. When it is proprietary software, you have to be careful. You need to get the proper ownership, so the license when you're going to create copies or modifying the content. So those are the main things you have to cover under the unit 1.7.